It's Thursday, October 23rd, 2025, and I'm Dave Sobel. Three things to know today. U.S. cyber defenses take a step backwards as agency cuts erode national readiness. AI-written code now drives 1 in 5 breaches, with tool sprawl making things worse. Generative AI trims IT incident resolution times by nearly 18%, and employees keep feeding free AI tools companies' secrets, exposing a major governance gap. This is the business of tech. A recent report from the Cyberspace Solarium Commission 2.0 indicates that the U.S. federal government's cyber policy has regressed by approximately 13%, marking the first significant setback since the Commission's establishment. This decline is attributed to workforce reductions and budget cuts within key agencies, including the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency and the State Department's cyber diplomacy staff. The analysis highlights that nearly a quarter of the previously implemented recommendations have lost their status, suggesting a fragile progress in cybersecurity efforts. Mark Montgomery, a former Navy Rear Admiral, expressed concerns over the significant cuts at the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, stating that such workforce reductions hamper the agency's effectiveness in addressing rising cyber threats. The report calls for the restoration of funding and personnel to bolster the nation's cyber defense capabilities. AI-generated code is now responsible for 1 in 5 security breaches, according to a report by Aikido. The study reveals that AI coding tools account for 24% of production code, with a particularly concerning 43% of U.S. organizations reporting serious incidents linked to AI-related flaws, compared to 20% in Europe. The report highlights that adding more security tools does not necessarily improve safety. In fact, organizations using 6 to 9 tools saw a 90% incident rate versus 64% for those with just 1 or 2 tools. Despite these challenges, 96% of industry professionals remain optimistic that AI will eventually produce secure and reliable code, with many expecting this to happen within the next 3 to 5 years. A new report from SolarWinds reveals that organizations utilizing generative artificial intelligence in their IT service management significantly reduce incident resolution times. According to the 2025 ITSM report, the average resolution time decreased from 27.42 hours to 22.55 hours after the implementation of generative AI, resulting in a time savings of nearly 5 hours per incident and an overall reduction of 17.8%. The report analyzed over 2,000 IT service management systems and more than 60,000 anonymized customer data points. A recent report by Accenture reveals that nearly 1 in 5 employees, specifically 19% of office workers, admitted to entering sensitive business information into free, unsecured artificial intelligence tools. The survey, which involved 1,000 Irish office workers, highlights significant gaps in cybersecurity awareness and training, despite 65% of respondents receiving regular training. Jackie Fox, a senior managing director at Accenture Cybersecurity, emphasized the urgent need for businesses to address these training deficiencies and clarify cybersecurity responsibilities among staff. Concerns about AI-driven phishing and deepfake impersonation are rising, with 47% of employees worried about AI phishing attempts and 34% about identity theft. Why do we care? So here's the headline. The U.S. government's cyber defenses going backward. The Cyberspace Solarium Commission says we've lost about 13% of our progress, mostly because of budget and staffing cuts at agencies like CISA. Translation: less coordination, less support, more risk trickling down to the private sector and your customers. Now add this: 1 in 5 breaches today comes from AI-generated code. Yeah, that's right. Developers are shipping code written by AI, and the flaws are showing up in production. The kicker? The more tools companies use, the worse their outcomes. 9 tools leads to 90% incident rate. Simplicity wins. SolarWinds says AI can still help. They found incident resolution times dropped almost 18% when AI got involved. So it's not all bad news. But here's the kicker from Accenture. 19% of employees are pasting company data into free AI tools. That's a training and governance failure, plain and simple. For providers, the obvious takeaway is governance, which is the new firewall. Audit AI use, cut tool sprawl, and teach clients how to stay smart about AI. Because the threat isn't the tech, it's the chaos that comes with using it carelessly. Still relying on security tools that only tell you what already happened? By then, it's too late. Token theft bypasses multi-factor authentication. Your SOC, SIM, and MDR can't catch it in real time. Even Microsoft knows it's a gap, and MSPs are left the risk. That's why there's SaaS Alerts, the only cloud detection and response platform built for MSPs. Get real-time monitoring and automated remediation across unlimited SaaS apps, plus Microsoft 365 security policy configuration, all for one low price. And your MSP tools, protected as well. Stop reacting. Start preventing. Visit saasalerts.com/MSP Radio. I normally do market data on Monday, but there's a lot, and I wanted to look at this subset. Small business optimism has declined as inflation and uncertainty continue to rise, according to a recent report from the National Federation of Independent Business. The Small Business Optimism Index fell 2 points to 98.8 in September, marking the first decline in 3 months, though it remains above the 52-year average of 98. The report highlights that 14% of small business owners identified inflation as their main concern, with rising input costs and supply chain issues worsening. Additionally, 64% reported disruptions in their supply chains, and nearly 1/3 are planning to raise prices in the coming months. Despite these challenges, 56% of small business owners have made capital investments recently, though only 21% plan future expenditures, indicating a cautious outlook for the months ahead. The ever-insightful Paul Krugman writes, "The U.S. economy is in worse shape than it looks." The U.S. economy is facing significant challenges, as recent reports indicate a troubling bifurcation within the market. While unemployment remains low by historical standards, consumer sentiment is at a level comparable to the depths of the 2008 financial crisis, according to data from the University of Michigan. The Conference Board's latest survey indicates a sharp decline in optimism about job availability, with a mere 8-point spread between those who believe jobs are plentiful and those who think they are hard to get. This economic landscape reveals a stark divide. While affluent individuals benefit from a booming artificial intelligence sector, lower and middle-income consumers are increasingly struggling, as evidenced by rising delinquencies on car loans and credit cards. And I wonder why. Amazon plans to automate approximately 75% of its operations, potentially replacing over 500,000 jobs with robots. According to internal documents viewed by the New York Times, the company aims to avoid hiring around 160,000 workers in the U.S. by 2027, saving about 30 cents on each item picked, packed, and delivered. This shift comes as Amazon's workforce has grown to nearly 1.2 million, tripling since 2018. The company is poised to implement these automation strategies across its facilities, which may lead to significant job reductions, particularly in blue-collar roles, as automation could reshape labor demands and create a need for more technical positions. Experts warn that if successful, Amazon's model could influence other companies to adopt similar automation practices, potentially impacting jobs nationwide. Why do we care? So small business optimism just dropped again, down 2 points. Inflation's biting, supply chains are still messy, and only 1 in 5 owners plan to spend money on upgrades anytime soon. That's not a market eager to invest. Paul Krugman's out there saying the economy looks fine on paper, but feels terrible in reality. And he's not wrong. Low unemployment doesn't help if people are falling behind on their car payments. That pressure hits small businesses next. Then throw Amazon into the mix, planning to automate 75% of its operations and skip hiring 500,000 people. If they pull that off, every logistics and retail company in the country is going to follow suit. For providers, this means one thing. Your customers are nervous. They're not looking for shiny new tools. They want to cut costs, keep uptime, and not get left behind when automation hits their industry. So don't pitch the latest tech trend, pitch results. Be the stability partner that helps them weather the uncertainty, because in this market, that's what they'll actually pay for. A recent investigation by Brave has unveiled significant vulnerabilities in AI-powered browsers, particularly concerning prompt injection attacks that exploit hidden commands within screenshots. This research highlights that indirect prompt injection is a systematic issue across various agentic browsers, posing serious risks to user security and privacy. One notable finding involved the Perplexity Comet browser, where attackers can embed malicious instructions in nearly invisible text within screenshots, potentially leading to unauthorized actions on users' sensitive accounts. The study emphasizes that traditional web security assumptions are inadequate in the face of AI agents acting on behalf of users, which allows untrusted web page content to prompt actions that could jeopardize personal and financial data. Brave urges a need for improved safeguards and clearer boundaries between user inputs and external content to enhance security in agentic browsing environments. This on the heels of OpenAI releasing ChatGPT Atlas, their new AI-powered browser. WatchGuard Technologies reported a 40% increase in evasive malware transmitted over encrypted connections, highlighting a concerning trend among cyber criminals. The company's latest Internet Security Report, which analyzed data from April through June of 2025, revealed that 70% of all malware is now delivered via encrypted channels, primarily using the Transport Layer Security Protocol. The chief security officer at WatchGuard emphasized the growing challenge for managed service providers and IT teams to adapt quickly to these stealthier tactics. The report noted a 15% rise in overall malware detections, driven by an 85% increase in threats identified by Gateway Antivirus, underscoring the need for enhanced visibility into encrypted traffic and robust security measures to mitigate these risks effectively. And ransomware payouts have reached unprecedented levels, with the average payment rising from $2.5 million to $3.6 million, according to the 2025 Global Threat Landscape Report by ExtraHop. The report reveals a significant shift in attack strategies, moving from broad attacks to more targeted approaches, resulting in lower frequency but higher cost incidents. Organizations now face an average downtime of over 37 hours following a ransomware event, with many attackers spending nearly 2 weeks undetected within systems before executing their attacks. As highlighted by ExtraHop, this evolution in tactics underscores the critical need for improved visibility in cybersecurity measures, as a significant portion of organizations report challenges such as limited visibility and overwhelming alert volumes. Why do we care? Well, this one's all a bit unsettling. Brave found that AI browsers can be tricked using hidden text inside screenshots. Invisible commands that an AI agent can read, but you can't. They tested on Perplexity's Comet browser, but the problem's much bigger. It's a flaw in how these agentic browsers work. And this drops right after OpenAI launches ChatGPT Atlas, which lives in that same category. Meanwhile, WatchGuard's data shows 70% of all malware is now coming through encrypted connections. That's traffic your old security stack might not even see. Evasive malware is up 40% and detections jumped 85%. The bad guys are hiding in the noise, literally. And ransomware. The payouts are through the roof. The average is now 3.6 million, with victims offline for nearly 2 days on average. Attackers are taking their time, sitting inside networks for weeks before pulling the trigger. So here's what it all means. You're fighting blind if your tools can't see into AI systems or encrypted traffic. Start treating AI browsers like risky apps, rethink your inspection strategy, and make sure your recovery plans actually work. Because this next wave of attacks isn't about brute force, it's about invisibility. Thanks for listening. It's National Slap Your Coworker Day. That one seems aggressive. Want more from the Business of Tech? Join Business of Tech Plus for ad-free episodes, early interviews, extended cuts, subscriber-only shows, and exclusive member perks and analysis. Sign up at businessof.tech/plus. And follow this show in your podcast app, and if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe and the bell so you never miss a story. Reviews and comments help spread the word too. Interested in advertising? Head to mspradio.com/engage. The Business of Tech is written and produced by me, Dave Sobel, under ethics guidelines posted at businessof.tech. Thanks for listening. I'll see you on the next episode.
Part of the MSP Radio Network.